Adam traded design for desire. Before the fall was a whisper. Before the shame was a shift. Before the exile, there was a man who forgot the voice that formed him. Adam didn't fall in a moment, he drifted in small degrees, choosing desire over design, voice over vision, and silence over stewardship. In a world perfectly crafted by the Creator, he exchanged sacred instruction for seductive invitation, and all of creation bore the consequence. What happened in Eden wasn't just a story of long ago. It's the mirror we all face today. God designed the world with intentional precision. From the galaxies above to the garden below. From the soil beneath man's feet to the breath within his lungs. He didn't just create the world, he designed a way to live in it. This was the blueprint, a divine pattern marked by truth, communion, obedience, and rest. But something happened along the way. Man, in his thirst for more, began to draw his own map, forgetting the lines God himself had drawn. The garden was God's classroom. God gave Adam a garden, not just a home, but a holy environment. A place where the voice of God echoed through the breeze, where identity wasn't earned but received, where purpose wasn't chased but walked out, step by step, in God's presence. Adam had no Instagram, no distractions, no crowd to please. He had clarity, he had communion, he had covering, but the blueprint was tested, not with swords, but with whispers. A serpent slid in with a question that still bites today. Did God really say? It wasn't just a question of fruit, it was a challenge to truth. It was the seed of confusion planted in the soil of desire. Along the line, Eve desired wisdom not from the word. Eve's heart longed for insight, but instead of asking God, she turned to deception. She reached for wisdom that looked good to the eyes, but was toxic to the soul. And Adam, the one who received the blueprint firsthand, did not rebuke, correct, or seek clarity. He remained silent. He listened to Eve instead of God. And in that moment, he handed over the pen of authority and let deception redraw his destiny. He ate what he was never meant to touch. And the world was never the same. Absolutely. Here's a refined and expanded version of that powerful line with imagery, insight, and flow. The destruction of God's blueprint led to nakedness, not just physical, but spiritual. When Adam and Eve stepped outside divine design, they weren't just exposed in body, they were stripped of covering, confidence, and communion. They lost the robe of innocence and wore fig leaves of fear. What once felt like home now felt like hiding. What once was open became covered in shame. They heard God walking, but instead of running to him, they ran from him. Sin didn't just remove their clothes, it removed their clarity. And that's what happens even now. When we abandon God's pattern, we end up uncovered, vulnerable to deception, identity crisis, and confusion. We try to fix it with filters, followers, and fame. But only God can restore what disobedience exposes. What happened in Eden still happens today. The modern man listens to Eve-like influences, voices of culture over conviction. The modern youth desires wisdom, but not from the word. They search for truth in algorithms, not altars. The present generation reaches for fruit, popularity, relationships, wealth, influence. That looks good, but leads to spiritual death. They are eating from trees God never planted for them. We no longer walk with God in the cool of the day. We scroll endlessly in the heat of distraction. We no longer seek His voice. We chase voices that entertain us, validate us, but never transform us. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil today is any source of wisdom outside God's word, social media influences, carnal truths, self-made philosophies. The serpent's whisper now sounds like, you only live once. Follow your truth. God understands. Just to you. The fig leaves we sow today are the masks we wear to hide shame. Filtered photos, fake smiles, overworked achievements, hollow theology. We've become a generation building careers without character, homes without holiness, dreams without direction, because we've lost the blueprint. The present-day man should be careful. If you allow culture to rewrite what God already wrote, you'll build a future that looks good but leaks purpose. If you marry without discernment, if you chase success without surrender, if you surround yourself with voices that never point you back to the cross, You may end up successful in sight but lost in spirit. Greater than, there is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 12. Here's the mercy of God. Even after Adam fell, God came looking. Adam, where are you? That's the same question echoing today. Man, where are you? Where are you in purpose? Where are you in obedience? Where are you in the pattern I gave you? God is not calling you out to condemn you. He's calling you back to restore you. It's not too late to return to the blueprint. Lay down the pen. Pick up the pattern. Let the master builder repair what sin tried to destroy. You were not created to live by trial and error. You were formed to live by divine design. Don't let opinions, past wounds, or popular trends be the compass of your life. Return to the garden. Return to His word. Return to the blueprint. Because what is built by God will never be buried by man.